Good evening, Nigel. Yeah, this day started with a conversation about a county council meeting tonight at 6 to discuss plans to redevelop and rezone the field you're looking at right now. A couple of hours later, that meeting was canceled because that project was canceled, and it made a whole lot of people here really happy.
It's a broad stroke of folks, and uniformly, nobody wants this. We want our community to stay how it is.
For the last several months, Highway 187 in Anderson County has been lined with signs standing against new rezoning plans along the corridor that would issue in 370 new homes in what is now an empty field in a rural area.
We're talking about agricultural land, we're talking about green spaces that have been protected by county, we're talking about wetlands, we're talking about protected species.
But this afternoon, after months of opposition from the community, words from the developer that plans changed.
I got an email from the engineer who stated that they were going to pull the project. They're going to try to come up with a product that works, that the community can get behind and support.
We're happy, I think, that it's at least paused for a moment.
John Andre is one of the over 1,500 community members who organized and petitioned to bring a stop to the development. Months after the battle first began, they say their voices have finally been heard.
We hope to work with the developer in the future as we move forward with something that fits the community a little better, and are really optimistic about that.
Right now, no one knows what will become of that empty field, but the community is hoping the future is bright.
I just hope that we can come together and set a precedent down through there, that we're going to have a higher quality product, more people, good people coming to our community that can be a part of our community and contribute to it.
And County Councilman Sanders says that the developers still want to develop this land. They're just not sure exactly what it's going to be yet. I reached out to those developers and they declined to comment on the matter at this time. For now, we are live in Anderson County. Alan Devlin, WYFF News 4.
Alan, thank you. Happening right now, family and friends are gathering to remember fallen Anderson police officer Sergeant Ethan Kaskin. This is a live look outside of the McDougald Funeral Home tonight. The family is receiving friends right now until 9 o'clock tonight at the funeral home. Officer Kaskin was killed in a head-on crash on Friday. His funeral will be held tomorrow morning at 11 at the Anderson Civic Center. We're told social distancing and face coverings are encouraged.
Turning to our weather now as we give you a live look outside from a Hilton Greenville Skycam. It was cloudy, rainy, and cloudy and rainy, and now it is beginning to cool off big time. Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice is here. And Chris, I was right about the cloudy and rainy, right?
You were very right about it. Sound like a broken record. A lot like me this week, right? Cloudy, rainy. But hey, I've got something else to add to you. It's cooling down. Yeah, Nigel, go ahead and step outside for a few minutes. Let me know what it feels like, because here in Greenville, the cool air is pushing in. But if you go anywhere west of Greenville into Pickens, Oconee, West Anderson County, it's getting chilly out there as the northwest breeze kicks up and that cold front marching in much cooler air. Check it out. Here's the last hurrah as far as rain is concerned. You got some heavy rain for Walhalla, south towards Central and Seneca, knocking on the door there in Clemson. Hartwell, Toccoa, back toward Livonia, seeing some heavy rain. This is going to march on through along with some colder air settling in. Same story for the mountains. Check it out. It's 64 in Greenville, but it's 59 across the Saluda River into Pickens County. Boy, it's much cooler back toward Walhalla at 58 degrees, and it's 50 right now in Cullowhee. As you compare the same time to the same exact time yesterday, we're at about 20 to 25 degrees cooler temperatures. As we go hour by hour tonight, down to 59 by 8 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, we're in the low 50s, and then going into the overnight hours, temperatures continue to drop to the upper 40s to near 50 degrees with clearing skies. Coming up, I'll take a closer look at a second cold front that's going to come our way and really cool us down.
We will see you in a minute, Chris. Thank you. The family of an upstate man who was killed in a car accident on Friday are looking back on his legacy tonight. 39-year-old Derek Porter lost his life on Friday after troopers say 19-year-old Andrew Brazil crossed the center line of the road and hit Porter head-on along Highway 183 in Pickens County. 2 of Porter's children were with him in the car and were rushed to the hospital, and Brazil now faces felony DUI charges. Our Taggart Houck sat down with Porter's family today, and he joins us now live in Greenville. Taggart.
Well, good evening, Gabrielle. As you mentioned there, troopers tell us 2 of Porter's children were hospitalized. Friends and family tell us that Porter had a big heart, and at the forefront of it was his family. This cross off Highway 183 in Pickens County now marks the area where 39-year-old Derek Porter lost his life while driving with his 2 sons around 12:30 Friday afternoon. The word "Dad" inscribed along the front. His family says that was his most treasured title.
He worked hard for his family, his kids. That was the most important thing to him. As long as they were happy, he was happy.
His sister Jamie says Porter could do anything he set his mind to. He was her role model and knew how to spread joy.
Always smiling. That was the biggest thing everybody talked about, was a smile.
You can see that, whether it was at the beach or the 80s themed daddy-daughter dance.
I hear this a lot about lighting up a room when he walked in. I truly feel like he did, He just brought this kind of happy feeling with him, and he played such a big role in the community.
A member of the food service industry, his daughter Kaylin says he made friends anywhere he went.
He's something I want to be like, I want to be like him. I want to spread joy.
Those friends and family will look fondly back on their memories. At last check, Brazil is at the Pickens County Detention Center. He is facing felony DUI charges. For now, in Greenville, Taggart Houck, WYFF News 4.
Taggart, thank you very much. Well, today during his weekly news conference, a reporter asked Clemson head football coach Dabo Swinney about comments that he made during a radio show last night. Swinney talked about players displaying messages of social justice on their uniforms, saying in part, quote, "I am not for any of the things that have gone on as far as uniforms and all that stuff, but this is something that came about and was opened up this year, and the guys have the right to express themselves, and I support them in that," end quote. Well, today during his weekly press conference, when asked about the comments, Swinney explained that when it comes to uniforms, he is a, quote, very traditional guy.
It's not that I'm not for the messages. I just think that, I'm a very traditional guy. I came from Alabama. Really the same reason that we don't change our uniforms. It's not anything to do, not for the messages or whatever. It's just, I've always just not messed with uniforms.
The teams have worn helmet stickers this season with various messages, including Black Lives Matter, love, equality, and put a stop to racism. Equality and unity were painted on the sidelines at Clemson's home opener against the Citadel 2 weeks ago. And you may remember back in June, the team marched in a peaceful protest organized by several players. You can hear Dabo Swinney's full comments on WYFF4.com and also on the WYFF News 4 mobile app.
Tonight, South Carolina DHEC is reporting more than 500 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. South Carolina has now seen more than 143,000 confirmed cases since the start of the pandemic. DHEC is also reporting 22 more people have died with COVID-19. South Carolina's death toll is more than 3,100. DHEC says around 4,000 tests were returned yesterday, and that 13.2% of those were positive. In North Carolina, health officials are reporting more than 800 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. That raises the state's total to more than 209,000. And tonight, North Carolina's death toll is approaching 3,500. And in Georgia, health officials are reporting more than 1,000 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. Georgia has now seen more than 316,000 cases since the outbreak started. Health officials are also reporting 34 more COVID-19 related deaths. Georgia's death toll is approaching 7,000.
The NFL's Tennessee Titans have suspended in-person team activities through Friday. That is after the team says 3 players and 5 personnel tested positive for coronavirus. The NFL says the positive tests mean the Minnesota Vikings will also suspend in-person activities because they played the Titans last weekend. The league says both teams are working with infectious disease experts to trace contacts and perform more tests. The Titans are scheduled to host the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday.
WYFF News 4 is tracking absentee ballots in South Carolina. Charleston County leads the way with the most applications submitted and most ballots returned. More than 27,000 voters in Greenville County have submitted an absentee application. Now, right now, witness signatures are not required on mailed-in absentee ballots, but today, the spokesman for the State Election Commission says the safest practice for voters is to have their signature witnessed on absentee return envelopes. Now, he said if the court reversed the ruling, again, the commission would have to decide what to do with those unsigned ballots.
We are just a few hours away from the first presidential debate. President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden will face off. Bree Jackson has a preview from Washington.
Well, each side wants to draw a stark contrast in leadership style. President Trump planning an aggressive attack as Joe Biden tries to convince voters that he should be the next president. The stage is set for a showdown in Cleveland.
We know that the president is very confrontational when it comes to debates. He's proven it in the past. And we know that Vice President Biden can sometimes be that way as well.
At the center of the debate will be issues, including the federal response to COVID-19.
Joe Biden believes that the coronavirus is still with us. Donald Trump thinks it's in the past tense. Joe Biden will talk about his vision for getting a handle on it, listening to the science.
We hate that one person had to suffer because of this virus, but thankfully it's not nearly as bad as it could have been because of this president's leadership.
The candidates are expected to face questions about civil unrest over racial injustices, a recent report about the president's taxes, and the economy. The president plans to defend his actions while attacking his opponent's record.
Joe Biden supported NAFTA, a horrible trade deal that hurt the American worker.
Biden's strategy includes laying out his policies and vision for the future.
You're going to see a lot of discussion tonight about health care, because health care for so many people is the #1 issue across this country.
Election day is just over 1 month away, and some ballots have already been cast. But analysts say tonight's debate could be a deciding factor for undecided voters.
Most voters probably already have their minds made up on most of the issues, but there are still some outstanding impressions which are going to be very, very important tonight.
And you'll notice some changes tonight because of COVID. Candidates won't participate in the traditional opening handshake. The candidates will be spaced far apart, and there will be a much smaller audience. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson.
Bree, thank you. And tonight's debate in Cleveland starts at 9 o'clock. Chris Wallace of Fox News will moderate 6 15-minute segments. You can watch it right here on WYFF4. And of course, we will have a full recap for you coming up on WYFF News 4 at 11.
Still ahead, a member of the Breonna Taylor grand jury wants all of the jury's material released to the public.
And a Florida church is looking for answers after thousands of bees in one of their hives suddenly die.
Right now it's 59 degrees in Pickens. Temperatures will continue to fall into the 40s by tomorrow morning. It'll be even cooler late this week. I'll show you that coming up.
An autopsy report released today by the Jefferson County Medical Examiner's Office in Kentucky shows Breonna Taylor was shot at least 5 times. According to the report, she had gunshot wounds to her torso, forearm, thigh, and foot. The report said a post-mortem blood sample tested negative for alcohol and drug use at the time of her death. She was fatally shot by police in March when officers carried out a raid. No officer who took part in the March 13th raid was charged for Taylor's actual killing. And now an attorney representing an anonymous grand juror in the Breonna Taylor case says his client, quote, wants to make sure the truth gets out. The juror filed a motion requesting all recordings, transcripts, and reports of the grand jury to be released to the public. Kentucky's Attorney General initially refused to release the grand jury transcripts, but now says he would comply with the judge's ruling to release the audio recordings. The grand juror's attorney spoke earlier today.
The grand juror that we represent felt compelled to take some sort of an action based upon the indictment that was rendered and the subsequent press conference and messages from the Attorney General's office about how everything played out.
Both the Louisville mayor and the Kentucky governor have repeatedly called for the release of documents that won't interfere with any other ongoing investigations related to the case. The grand jury last week charged one former officer with first-degree wanton endangerment in connection to the incident that happened back in March, but the charge is not directly related to Taylor's death.
A church in Fort Myers says 30,000 bees on its property used for honey to give to families in need have suddenly died, and the church believes it was done on purpose. The church says that for several days the new beehive seemed to be just fine. Then suddenly activity stopped at one of them. Church staff found a small plastic bottle cap at the entrance of the hive.
I'm pretty sure that someone mixed this sugar syrup with some poison, because if the bees die because of something wrong in the honeycomb, not all the 30,000 die in one step.
We have some really disappointed people. We're going to put some cameras out here. We're going to put a fence around the beehive so people can't get to it.
The church says it will still be able to send honey to feed families in need, but it will be less than before.
Well, a cold front sweeping across the area right now. We've got clouds and some showers remaining here or there, but the rain will start to move out and the cold air, it's rushing in. Look at the severe weather north of Charlotte right there. That area a lot more unstable and warm. Here at home, we are cooling down as progressively colder air begins to move in hour by hour. I look a little bit closer here. We've got some heavy downpours now moving into Pickens, Clemson, Hartwell. This is pushing off toward the east. So one more hurrah of some rain moving into areas like Travelers Rest by 6 o'clock. Greenville just before 6, and then Landrum at about 6:17. It's raining quite heavy across Lake Hartwell up toward Keowee and Jocassee through Clemson. Another round of some heavy rain for Hartwell and Elberton. And then the mountains were beginning to dry things out, but it's getting cooler. Look at the temperatures. Look at how they plummet in Pickens. At about 4 o'clock or so, you were in the 60s. Now you're in the mid to upper 50s. Yeah, that temperature plummeting behind this front. You can see it much cooler in the western half of the upstate compared to the eastern half as this cooler air begins to run on in. And compared to this same time yesterday, we're over 20 degrees cooler in some locations. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, you'll want the jacket. It's going to be on the chilly side. Widespread 40s across the area with clear skies. There could be a little bit of fog early in the morning, especially where we had some rain today. It doesn't really dry out into the overnight hours, but plenty of sunshine to burn that off quickly tomorrow morning. We'll warm up to the low 70s for high temperatures, which is well below where we should be for this time of the year. In Spartanburg, we'll have clear skies, temperatures warming into the upper 60s, and in Anderson, we'll start off cool in the low 50s, but warm up into the lower 70s with loads of sunshine in Asheville and Hendersonville. It will warm up into the upper 60s, a little bit below where you should be for this time of the year, but a cool start in the upper 40s. Let me show you where temperatures go from here. So we cool down tonight, and then we actually warm up just a little bit going into Thursday. Our highs Thursday in the mid to upper 70s, which is right where we should be for this time of the year. But look what happens. The second cold front moves through. It's a dry one, no no rain associated with it. Bringing 30s and 40s to the mountains Friday morning with 40s across the upstate. And then high temperatures moving forward will be what you really notice. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, highs only in the mid-60s. That's well below where we should be this time of the year. And it will feel a little bit brisk, especially on Saturday. So we're in the 70s over the next 48 hours, giving way to 60s Friday and Saturday. Look at Saturday's high of 65. Most of the morning and early afternoon spent in the 50s. One thing you'll notice here, no rain in the foreseeable future. Congratulations to our umbrella winner today out of Welford, Deborah Williams.